Surviving the apocalypse. From versus The Walking Dead. Imagine a world where stepping outside means a death sentence, where every decision carries the weight of your life, and one wrong move could end everything. With each step you take, there is a possibility that you could be walking straight into a death trap. The world is quiet. Too quiet. Except for strange sounds in the distance. The shadows move, hiding dangers you can't see. You hold on to hope that there is a shelter nearby, or you would just open your eyes and be back to the normal world, that this is all just a nightmare. But each time you close your eyes and open them, there is only darkness everywhere. You see a lone figure walking in front of you, his shadow following him like his only companion. As he continues, you hesitate. Calling out might mean salvation or doom. Is he a fellow survivor, just as desperate as you, or is he one of those monsters haunting the world? The decision feels impossible. Here, nothing is certain. There are no second chances. Trusting the wrong person could cost you everything. And the only real question is, how will you survive? What would you give up to stay alive? A zombie apocalypse, an alien intervention, or a nuclear disaster have all crossed our minds at some point. Pretending that the floor is lava and jumping from one couch to another was the ultimate childhood favorite. And sometimes, we would even go to the lengths of playing zombies and running behind our friends to eat them. All these imaginations were purely fueled by fiction and made survival feel like an adventure. Fiction that had the realest tragedies, and we would all be left wondering, what would we do if we were stuck in the same situation? But are all those survival movies just a way to color the black and white world of our imagination, or do they serve more purpose than that? We are here to reveal the true meaning of survival, the stakes of it all. One thing we can say for sure is that surviving an apocalypse is never just about battling the big bad monsters. It is about facing the darkness within and around us. And when the apocalypse takes different forms, which nightmare would you rather endure? The relentless chaos of The Walking Dead or the haunting mystery of From? Before you decide, let's dive into both worlds, exploring their dangers, their lessons, and what they reveal about the human spirit. Also, who knows, you might even learn a thing or two about enduring in the world of unknown dangers. Let's start from the beginning. No other series lives up to its name quite like The Walking Dead, because it literally features the Walking Dead, the zombies, or as they are called in the series, walkers. It is based on Robert Kirkman's comic book, which was first published in October 2003, and later the TV series premiered in October 2010. It consists of 11 seasons and concluded in November 2022. The series is set in a world devastated by a global zombie outbreak. It follows the story of Rick Grimes, a sheriff's deputy who wakes up from a coma and finds that the world has been turned upside down by the living dead. The initial seasons focus on the survival of Rick and his group. As the series progresses, it evolves into a much broader narrative about rebuilding civilization and exploring the importance of leadership, trust, and morality in a lawless world. On the other hand, From takes a unique approach to horror. Rather than the overused trope of zombies, it introduces a new threat that defies conventional expectations. It was created by John Griffin and premiered in 2022. 3 seasons of the show have aired till now, and it has captivated audiences with an equal mix of suspense and thrill. The series introduces a group of people inexplicably trapped in a horrible town where they end up unwillingly and can't leave. No matter what road they take, they would always end up in the same town. During the day, the town seems like a normal suburban land, but as the night falls, the horrors unfold. Cynical creatures arise from the forest surrounding the town and destroy the lives of people trapped in there. There is no way out, and the only way to endure is to stay inside while the creatures roam around. It is a mix of both supernatural horror and mystery, and focuses on creating a tense, claustrophobic atmosphere. This shift breathes fresh life into the genre, as the viewers are left to figure out the nature and origin of the unsettling creatures. While The Walking Dead builds its story on the collapse of the known world, From centers on the mystery of its setting and the characters' struggle to understand their unusual challenges. Whatever the threat may be, the theme of both the stories is the same: survival. The threats are different, so the strategies introduced are also different. But the end goal of each character is to save themselves first and then the ones closest to them. In The Walking Dead, survival requires a combination of physical strength, resourcefulness, and teamwork. As the zombies rule their world, the humans are forced to hide in shelters, constantly scavenging for essentials like food, water, and medical supplies. When they realize that the zombies are not going away anytime soon, they learn to fight back with improvised weapons and hand-to-hand combat. Instead of relying on firearms, they use quieter weapons like knives and crossbows to reduce the noise and to avoid attracting more walkers. Staying in one place for too long makes them more vulnerable to walker herds, so they are always on the move. They make communities for extra safety and reliability, but that also comes with a lot more challenges. The characters evolve according to their environment. Farmers become warriors, and the lawmakers are not afraid to break or bend the moral codes in the name of survival. The series highlights the importance of adapting to the new world, rather than sulking in the memories of what could have been. As the characters learn new things every day, it teaches us that the world around us is evolving. It is ever-changing, and if not by a zombie apocalypse, it can be struck by some other disaster that could change it in an instant. And in such harsh conditions, only those who adapt can survive. In the series From, survival is all about following the rules. To live in the supernatural town, you have to follow the rules that are set by the people residing there, but are shaped by the creatures of the night. Since the creatures attack during the night, the survivors must retreat to their homes before nightfall. As the series features supernatural horrors, it shows that the only way to avoid the creatures is by hanging talismans in their houses to repel the creatures. Apart from surviving, it also focuses on the characters' attempts to unravel the mysteries of the town. Knowing what and who you are fighting against makes the fight a lot easier, and that is why the characters try to find answers to questions about the creatures' origin, their motives, and how to stop them. More than a physical fight, it is a psychological warfare where maintaining hope and unity is as critical as physical safety. Unlike The Walking Dead, where the survivors move through a vast world, From limits its characters to a single mysterious location. The confinement forces them to make full use of the limited resources and resolve their personal conflicts. A key difference between the two series is how they portray the villains. Both serve as reflections of deeper fears and challenges, but elicit different responses. The walkers in The Walking Dead are mindless, relentless, and ever-present zombies. They might not be able to run behind their prey, but when they come in groups, they don't let the prey escape. They symbolize death, decay, and the inevitability of loss. Over time, as they infiltrate the land of humans, they become less of a central threat and more of an environmental hazard. The creatures in From are far more sinister. They play with minds. They don't just want to unalive the survivors. They want to make them suffer in fear. The creatures take on humanoid forms and use psychological manipulation to bait their victims. Their attacks are brutal, and nobody knows their true motive behind toying with humans. All the series ever depicts is that the creatures are hell-bent on making the survivors' lives miserable. Transitioning from the tangible nature of zombies, these creatures depict the fear of the unknown and the existential terror of being trapped in an unexplainable solution. The lack of awareness makes it even more horrifying, because how do you fight the unknown? The psychological battles fought by survivors share a more relatable struggle. In moments when we feel emotionally overwhelmed by our own problems, we naturally seek comfort in others, be it friends, family, or even strangers. Human connections provide a sense of peace and grounding. At the core, both these series also delve deeper into the human need for connection during times of adversity, and all this makes the apocalyptic world feel strikingly real. The series explore the tension between isolation and the need for connection. In the fragile community of From, trusting anyone is difficult, and personal conflicts often threaten the survival of a community. Similarly, in The Walking Dead, groups form and break as the survivors struggle to save themselves, while constantly juggling the risk that comes with relying on others. The stories reflect real-world challenges, where vulnerabilities can either be a strength or a liability. At the heart of both series, the question lies: what does it mean to stay human in a world that demands inhumane choices? In The Walking Dead, the characters are in a constant dilemma, whether to kill, steal, or abandon others to survive. The line between right and wrong is often blurred as the value of life outweighs the moral principles. Themes of loyalty, betrayal, and leadership are given due importance as different characters like Daryl, Rick, and Negan symbolize different approaches to survival. In From, the stakes are equally high, but the conflicts are more existential. They don't just rely on fighting the creatures. they also focus on how to maintain hope when escape seems impossible. It centers on how fear and uncertainty can affect interpersonal relationships. The lack of clear answers often results in psychosis, mistrust, and occasional breakdowns among the survivors. Moreover, in The Walking Dead, the zombies are everywhere. They have invaded all the world, and for the survivors, there is no place to run and hide. They can't just manage a way out of a town and return to normal life. They have to adapt to new patterns to coexist with the living dead or wait for another outbreak that could eradicate the zombies. Whereas in From, the characters know that there is a way out. They know that unaware of their misery, the outside world is going on in a perfectly normal manner, and one wrong turn of fate has led them to the town. There is an escape, and throughout the series, they have this one hope that one day they will make it out of the town alive. That is why they keep on struggling. They keep on trying to find the missing pieces of the puzzle that could, somehow, solve the mystery of the creatures and the town. Though it is a constant struggle, there is still hope that on the other side, a bright world awaits them. And hence, despite the overwhelming despair, both series highlight the resilience of the human spirit. In The Walking Dead, characters like Rick and Michonne fight not just to survive, but to rebuild the new normal world. They try to find a purpose even in devastation. In From, each time the characters lose a little hope, it is regained by small victories, like finding the talismans, figuring out the rules of the nightmares, forming connections, or even making it through another night. These stories remind us that even in the darkest times, hope can persist. And all this leads to the most haunting question. What is the ultimate cost of survival? What do the characters have to give up to save their lives in the apocalyptic worlds? And is survival even worth the despair? In The Walking Dead, the cost is often moral. With every hard choice, a piece of humanity is lost. One of the most intense scenes shows a son forced to shoot his mother to prevent her reanimation as a walker. This scene marked a deeply traumatic and emotional moment for the character. It also depicts how we have to make some of the toughest decisions for the greater good. In another instance, a man has to leave a friend behind to a group of walkers to save another life. The moments of despair make the characters weigh the value of one life over another. Hypothetical scenarios, like choosing between the lives of a mother or a sister, become painfully real, and the mental toll of such choices is unimaginable. As the series progresses, the weight of these sacrifices becomes evident. The characters are no longer who they once were. The decisions they have had to make scar their personalities. The mental health struggles they face, the grief, the guilt, and the haunting memories of their actions add more depth to their development, making their journey all too human, too relatable. The survival is never just about staying alive. It is about facing the loss of humanity, the breakdown of moral principles, and the heavy burden of choices made along the way. The Walking Dead goes beyond simply showing the characters' struggles and decisions for survival. It challenges us all to put ourselves in the characters' shoes and reflect on what decisions would we make in a similar situation. In From, the cost of survival is more psychological and is deep-rooted in an endless cycle of fear and uncertainty. Each night, the characters struggle to stay indoors, fearing that if they fail to lock the doors and windows, the creatures might creep in. Every morning, there is news of someone from the town being attacked by the creatures. With every new group of people stumbling upon the town, the inhabitants are forced to confront the harsh reality of their situation once again. They have to explain the reality of the town, and their truth is often met with skepticism and disbelief. The inhabitants are labeled paranoid and delusional, because who in their right mind would believe that a town like this really exists? And yet, again and again, the people must endure the painful process of convincing others, even if it means the sacrifice of one rebellious individual, someone who refuses to accept the rules of survival. The cycle repeats itself, and the loop of uncertainty continues with no end in sight. The residents live in constant fear, never knowing how long they will be trapped or if they will ever escape. The psychological toll weighs heavily on each individual, and some even start facing mental health disorders like hallucinations, anxiety, and depression. Both worlds force the characters to live with the sacrifices they have made and the people they have become. Even though these stories are purely fictional, they address certain challenges faced by humans in their day-to-day lives. Making tough choices is sometimes accompanied by brutal consequences, but the inevitability of the decision makes it feel more bearable. When there is no other other option but to act, the clarity of the necessity can ease the emotional weight of the choice. Moreover, the narratives also highlight the importance of forming meaningful bonds, as they provide not only emotional support but a sense of purpose as well. In these harsh worlds, connections with others are a reminder of our humanity. It also makes us wonder, in the face of calamity, who would truly stand by our side? Who would offer their support, even if the cost of doing so could be threatening? These questions surpass the fictional worlds. They urge us to reflect on our personal lives and the relationships we hold dear. In times of crisis, the values of trust, compassion, and loyalty become even more apparent, reminding us that even if survival may require sacrifice, it is the bonds we form with others that ultimately define our resilience and our humanity. The Walking Dead ends on a note of hope, yet with an awareness of the ongoing challenges of rebuilding the post-apocalyptic world. While there is a sense of closure as all the character arcs are wrapped up, the ending also shows that survival is an ongoing journey. The series closes with a bittersweet acknowledgement that, although the world may not fully restore, the survivors have found a way to move forward together. It shows that in a world scarred by years of hardship, there is still room for new beginnings. From, on the other hand, is still ongoing, with a lot more mysteries to cover and questions to answer. The series has managed to hook the viewers with anticipation, and we are all too invested to know what comes ahead. What is the mystery of the town? How the spells will be broken? And who will be the ultimate savior? As we wrap up this video, we have rounded back to the original matter. 2 apocalypses, 2 worlds, 1 question. Is it worse to face the endless hordes of the Walking Dead, or to unravel the supernatural horrors of From? Do tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share. For more such videos, subscribe to our channel, and we will catch you in the next one, hopefully with some more thrilling content.